Howell for the end zone. Hanging out is Logan.
The quarterback is the most important position in all of sports. I don't know how many times we got to say it. And a lot of teams right now are feeling the burn of not having a guy who's exactly up to snuff. And at about this time next year, if not much sooner, I think we'll be seeing those guys wearing some new colors. Or perhaps watching the games from home. We have learned a lot up to this point of the 2023 NFL season, but perhaps the most obvious lesson, a lot of teams need a new starting quarterback, ideally ASAP, but no later than week 1 of next year. That is right, 1/3 of the 32 teams have an uninspiring QB situation and desperately need to address that between now and the start of 2024. The good news? Plenty of options for those clubs with a handful of trade targets, notable free agents, and stud prospects in the draft. So with that said, let's dive into the 10 NFL quarterbacks who will lose their starting jobs next.
We're trying to find our groove right now, and we're getting into that groove and finding that rhythm and starting the game fast.
Matthew Stafford. Stafford did what he was brought in to do 3 years ago. Win a Super Bowl with the Los Angeles Rams. Well, hey, mission accomplished, case closed. Thank you, Mr. Stafford, for being the final piece of the championship puzzle. Nobody said goodbyes were ever easy, but that's exactly what the Rams need to do with Stafford. In fact, the sooner the better. A string of injuries have clearly taken their toll on the 35-year-old signal caller, who is no longer the efficient and poised pocket passer that dominated the NFL for more than a decade. The Rams cannot rely on Stafford to stay healthy anymore. Even when he is on the field, Stafford is not capable of carrying the team on his back. His accuracy has dropped considerably this year, even with the rise of Puka Nacua and the return of Cooper Kupp. Stafford's contract structure makes an outright release impossible in 2024, and, well, nobody's going to be trading for him. The Rams will have to keep him around for at least another year, but that doesn't mean Stafford has to start in 2024. Los Angeles could eye a quarterback in the 2024 NFL Draft, or they could take a chance on a reclamation project like Justin Fields, Mac Jones, or heck, even Trey Lance. You know, just to name a couple of options. Bottom line, the Rams can't make Stafford their full-time starter after this year. It is time to groom and develop the next starting QB in La La Land. Justin Fields. It's not that Fields has been downright terrible in this injury-plagued 2023 season. He's just been, okay for the most part. And if the Chicago Bears weren't so bad, he'd unquestionably be their starting QB for 2024. But that's the problem for Fields. The Bears are terrible, and the Carolina Panthers are even worse. Alright, so why is that relevant? Well, because Chicago owns Carolina's 2024 first-round pick. Chicago is a practical lock to finish with the top 2 pick thanks to the Panthers. That means they're going to have the choice between USC's Caleb Williams or North Carolina's Drake May. 2 NFL-ready QB prospects with considerably higher ceilings than Fields. Fields might be a good quarterback, but May and Williams are sure things to be great. The Bears just can't afford to pass on the chance to upgrade at the draft. Not when they're likely to have 2 top 5 picks. And you know, Fields should embrace a change anyway. The Bears have not made the most of his talents and haven't built much of a team around him. Also, side note, wouldn't Fields just be perfect for the Atlanta Falcons? Jordan Love. We're not necessarily saying that Love will lose his starting job with the Green Bay Packers by the start of 2024, but he will be one of the next 10 active starting QBs to lose his job. That much seems pretty obvious. Love has disappointed in his first year as the starting QB. He's struggling to push the ball downfield, can't read the defense, and makes way too many rookie-like mistakes. Not ideal for a guy who had 3 years to learn behind the legendary Aaron Rodgers. The Packers cannot wait around on Love forever. They have a nice mix of young studs and veteran stars across that roster, and they are simply a solid QB option away from emerging as a contender in the NFC again. And just like Justin Fields, it might not end up being Love's overall play that prompts the Packers to move on. It just might be thanks to the chance to draft a stud QB in the 2025 draft. Bottom line, Love has not done enough to show that he's got what it takes to be Green Bay's long-term starting QB. Our money is on the Packers replacing him within the next couple of years. Aiden OConnell. We get why the Las Vegas Raiders wanted to give Aiden OConnell a look. Jimmy Garoppolo is playing horribly, and at this rate, the Silver and Black had nothing to lose in giving the Purdue product a look. O'Connell may finish the year as the Raiders' starting QB, and quite frankly, Vegas has no reason to go back to Garoppolo. But it's hard to envision Mark Davis and company wanting to move forward with the great unknown in O'Connell when they can go after someone like Kirk Cousins or Justin Fields, or when they can take QB in the loaded 2024 draft. If they want to draft their next QB? Well, Las Vegas won't get Caleb Williams or Drake May, but a QB in the second tier like Michigan's J.J. McCarthy, Oregon's Bo Nix, or Washington's Michael Penix Jr. would certainly suffice. With Max Crosby, Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs, and Jacoby Myers in their primes, the Raiders won't want to rebuild. They want to win ASAP. And that means finding a long-term capable starter, something that O'Connell isn't. Sam Howell. Many were surprised with Ron Rivera's decision to put his job on the line for 2022 fifth-round pick Sam Howell. As insurance, the Commanders signed journeyman and former Indianapolis Colts starter Jacoby Brissett. Howell is, well, he's basically the new Jameis Winston. He just throws the ball left, right, and center and thus puts up a ton of passing yards, but also a ton of interceptions. It's cool if you like chaotic football, but his awful mistakes cancel out the high passing yards and passing TD numbers. It just feels like the Commanders will go into a full reset after the season, meeting a new head coach and a new quarterback. Given all the talent in the 2024 QB draft class, how could Washington not want a new signal caller for next year? Washington should hire a young offensive-minded head coach and pair him with a new young quarterback. They are not in play for Drake May or Caleb Williams, but we would love to see Michael Penix Jr. or J.J. McCarthy in that offense. Or, I don't know, maybe Washington wants to take a chance on somebody like Justin Fields? Either way, the Commanders need to start from scratch in 2024, and that includes starting over at the game's most important position. Whoever the Atlanta Falcons QB is. The Falcons have played a game of musical chairs at QB with Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke. Yeah, good luck figuring out who'll end up finishing the year as the starter. Honestly, it doesn't matter, because neither of these guys will be Atlanta's Week 1 starter in 2024. The Falcons have a roster that is ready to win now. A top 10 defense, a top 5 O-line, and of course a dream set of offensive weapons in Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson, and Tyler Algier. All that's missing is a capable starting QB. Maybe GM Terry Fontenot will target someone in the draft, but why not make a play for someone like Kirk Cousins? He'd be the final piece needed to help this team win the pathetic NFC South. And we just keep picturing dual-threat QB Justin Fields in this offense. I mean, come on, name a better fit for him than a rush-heavy offense loaded with playmakers. Okay, if not Fields, what about taking a chance on Mac Jones? Jameis Winston even? Gardner Minshew II? Look, the options are aplenty for Atlanta. The bottom line is, they'll have to have a new Week 1 starter come 2024. Zach Wilson. Even if Aaron Rodgers doesn't end up completing the miraculous recovery and return this season, there's just no way that Wilson can stay on as the New York Jets starting quarterback. We still think Robert Saleh is a great coach, but let me tell you, his obsession with committing to Wilson is just mind-boggling. The number 2 pick of the 2021 NFL Draft has had chance after chance after chance to show, I don't know, some form of improvement, and it's just not happening. With a top 5 defense and stud offensive weapons in Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, and Allen Lazard, the Jets still aren't winning. And it is strictly because of their mistake-prone quarterback. This is why the Jets traded for Aaron Rodgers, and he would have had them in Super Bowl contention right now. But, you know, at some point, enough's gotta be enough for Saleh and company. Tim Boyle, the third QB on the Jets roster, really doesn't inspire much confidence. We would still rather see him, though, than Wilson. Otherwise, New York should sign a veteran free agent signal caller to take over that offense. Even if Wilson miraculously keeps his job through the remainder of 2023, there ain't no way he's staying there for long. That Rodgers dude's gonna be back in 2024 at the latest, meaning that it's almost goodbye Zach Wilson in Gotham. Baker Mayfield. Now, to his credit, the number 1 pick of the 2018 NFL Draft has played better than expected in year 1 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But Mayfield's play this season is like having a GPA of 2.0. Not showing off, but not falling too far behind. Right, George Costanza? Mayfield has shown vast improvement in Tampa Bay compared to his forgettable and short-lived 2022 stint with the Carolina Panthers. But he's just not a franchise QB. And the Bucs will have way too many enticing options as replacements next year. Tampa is in a good spot to land a top 15 pick, which should put them in position to take one of the top QB prospects. Otherwise, could we see them enter the Kirk Cousins bidding war? They make a play for someone like Fields or Kyler Murray. Mayfield is still careless with the football at times and just doesn't have the it factor to take his team to another level. We saw it in Cleveland and Carolina, and now we're seeing it in Tampa Bay. He could work as a game manager on a stacked team like the San Francisco 49ers, but the Bucs aren't exactly loaded with star power like Kyle Shanahan's group. The Bucs need someone like Tom Brady, who single-handedly takes over games with their brilliance and confidence. Whoever the New England Patriots QB is. As is the case with the Falcons, we have no idea who will finish 2023 as the Patriots' starting quarterback. Mac Jones is sadly broken and just not coming back. His time in New England has less than 2 months remaining. And then, well, he'll be free with the opportunity to start afresh. Bailey Zappi isn't it either. Will Grier? Maybe he'll be an upgrade over Jones and Zappi, but that's not really saying much. Bottom line, none of these three guys will be taking any meaningful reps for the Patriots next year. Whether Bill Belichick is gone or not, the Patriots clearly need to rebuild the offense from scratch, and that begins with starting over at quarterback. New England is in a great spot to get either Caleb Williams or Drake May. If they somehow and some way play themselves out of a top 2 pick, there's always the next tier of QBs that we talked about. Unless Kyler Murray is available, there's just no sense in the Patriots bringing in a veteran via trade or free agency. They're going to be better off rebuilding this whole darn thing, which means no more Jones, Zappi, or Grier. Well, at least the Patriots had Tom Brady for 20 years. Those were the days, huh? Daniel Jones. Even before Daniel Jones suffered a season-ending ACL tear in Week 9 against the Las Vegas Raiders, it was evident that he'll simply never be the guy in New York. Silly of us for thinking that Brian Daboll had fixed Jones and turned him into a reliable long-term starter. Like the Rams with Stafford, the Giants are stuck with Jones after handing him a 4-year, $160 million extension earlier this year. New York realistically can't move on from Danny Dimes in 2024, but there is an easy out of his deal in 2025. The Giants have an easy decision here for 2023, though. Draft plus develop your new franchise QB in 2024. Trust that Daboll will be able to groom that QB accordingly the way that he did with Josh Allen. Even if Jones is making a ton of money to sit on the bench next year, heck, so be it. He's had 1 good season and 4 awful ones. The Giants just need to accept his contract was a mistake, find a replacement at the draft, and then cut DJ in 2025. It shouldn't be hard. But then again, the Giants do have a knack for making things, well, very hard these days. So we'll just believe it when we actually see it. But which other NFL quarterbacks do you think will lose their starting jobs? Let us know in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton, and hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.